Thank you, Chris. I would also like to thank Dan and Bert for their leadership over the last year. And thank you to several board chairs who have come before me, including Chris Kuhar, Peggy Sloan, Jim Berhini. I truly appreciate you all. This is really an exciting time for me as I embark on this journey to serve as the next chairman of AZA's board of directors. The last year and a half has been, and it continues to be, a learning experience for us all. But it has been truly inspiring to see how resilient and creative we have all been during these challenging times. And even though it has not been easy, we've discovered that we can lean on one another, we can grow together, we can learn together, and I know there have been virtual meetings and phone calls where we've cried together. But we've found strength in one another. We have continued to remind each other to keep focusing on the fact that we're doing the greatest work on the planet. We care for animals. We connect people to the natural world. We conserve species, and we provide conduits for our guests to ensure animals are safe. Before I talk about how special this opportunity is for me and my goals for the year ahead, I want to take a minute to thank my family. I'd like to thank my wife, Andrea, who's been a phenomenal support throughout my career and my life. No matter where my passion has taken me, she's always been right there by my side, supporting me along the way. She's incredibly special to me and has continued to be my most vocal cheerleader. I'm extremely blessed and fortunate to have her in my life. Thank you, sweetheart. I also want to thank my children, Tasia, Brandis, and Amber. I am so proud to pass my love for animals along to them and see how committed they are to conservation and the preservation of animals and wild places. But I can tell you, what's been really exciting for me right now is being a grandparent. I truly enjoy spending time with my grandson and my granddaughter, getting them exposed to nature and connecting them with animals. My grandson is fearless, and my granddaughter, she's an absolute angel. We spent time together outside at the lake where he caught his first fish. Now every time they arrive, he wants to go fishing. Those early memories of connecting with the natural world are critically important. You see, I know that firsthand, the importance of those early opportunities for exposure. Some of my most vivid childhood memories involved me peering into my uncle's fish tank and watching his angelfish. I could watch those fish for hours, or raising platies with my mother and doing all we could to protect the fry from being eaten by the adults, or trips to the beach, or fishing, hiking, or occasionally taking a walk in the woods to immerse myself in the wilderness. These experiences laid the foundation for a love of animals, as well as a lifelong commitment to their protection. More importantly, it enabled me to stand here today as part of a community of people who commit ourselves to saving animals from extinction each and every day. When I was younger, I had one goal: to save the world. I was ambitious and equally as naive. I cannot tell you how many times my parents told me, "You can't save the world." But undeterred, that continued to be my pursuit for much of my adolescence. Eventually, I had to honestly ask myself, what does saving the world even look like? Maybe my parents were correct. Saving the world was a pretty tall order. But I was absolutely clear that I had a passion for protecting animals. My most significant early hurdle was answering the question of how. How could I make sure to protect animals? Sadly, I had no idea how to get involved in this world, and my parents didn't even have a good sense of it either. So for a long time, I navigated through this journey blindly. The struggle for me was compounded because I didn't see people that looked like me in these roles, and that was a visual obstacle that had a much more significant impact than I realized at the time. You see, most people may not think about that, But the road seems a little easier when you see somebody that looks like you at the end of the road, or even along the journey. It sort of gives you the green light to say, you can do this. However, I had an amazing team of champions early in my career, including Vicky Searles, Jeff Swanigan, Dr. Dwayne Jackson, Angela Peterson, Steve Marshall, Dr. Bert Davis, Beth Stevens, Carrie Burgess, and so many others. I had enough support and people that encouraged me along the way that those walls and barriers slowly came down. And I recognized that this is a place that I belong. This is a place where my voice is needed significantly. My passion for this work was able to prevail. Oddly enough, that is one of my goals for the upcoming year, is to let passion prevail, to create opportunities for diverse groups with a passion for protecting animals, conservation of species, and preservation of dynamic ecosystems to pursue their passion. Regardless of their race, their gender, sexual orientation, ethnicity, their level of ability, or socioeconomic status, we provide an avenue for them to join us on our journey. It is that passion that is so contagious that gets our guests motivated to change their behaviors and to take action. This is exactly what we need. And when we see that there are barriers to entry for these career paths, we should work to eliminate them as quickly as possible. For example, we know unpaid internships are a barrier to entry for socioeconomically disadvantaged individuals of all racial and ethnic groups. I'm committed to finding and implementing solutions to this issue, and I welcome you all to join me in this pursuit. Many of you are involved in AZA's Fifth Promise, in helping to bring diversity, equity, accessibility, and inclusion to the forefront of conversations at our various organizations. I'm so proud to know we are having the tough and sometimes uncomfortable conversations that will enrich our zoos and aquariums for generations to come. I am no stranger to the tough conversations. My parents would often tell me, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. You should listen twice as much as you speak. I have integrated that mindset into every aspect of my life, and I will incorporate this into my role as board chair as well. I want to hear from you. I want to know how your AZA Board of Directors can best assist you in achieving success. Success in animal care and welfare, success in guest experiences, success in conservation and research initiatives, success in education programs, success with your staff, success with your operations, all of the many forms of success, because ultimately, we are AZA, and your individual success means our collective success. So anticipate periodic phone calls or an occasional email, but also know I'll be visiting several of you as well. Beginning in October, each month, I will visit at least one zoo or aquarium to better understand its operations, successes, and obstacles. My first scheduled visit is to see my friends at Jenkinson Aquarium and the Turtleback Zoo in New Jersey. The Turtleback Zoo was my childhood zoo. It was the first zoo I ever visited growing up. I'm looking forward to hearing from members and bringing your insights back to the board of directors and to the AZA staff. Some of the conversations I'm hoping to have over the next year focus on education, sustainability, and conservation. Conservation is not a game. It is core to what we do. That should never be diluted. I want to have engaging dialogue that leads us to expanding AZA's SAFE programs. I want to push ourselves to collaborate more and focus on the conservation goals in front of us that unite us all at the end of the day. But now, more than ever, and I mean more than ever, conservation and education must remain at the heart of what we do each and every day. We must continue to let people know that we are fighting just as hard, possibly harder than we ever had before for the care and conservation of animals. We can get powerful messages out to millions and millions of people that visit us each year. We have the ability to transform the connection our guests have to the planet, the animals we share it with, and even other people. We can help each guest become a better steward of the global ecosystem. We have to let people know that conservation is key. We have to let them know education is absolutely important. We have to let them know diversity enriches any ecosystem. If anybody walks into one of our facilities and walks out with a little more information, a little more passion, and a greater commitment to animals, our planet, and one another, then we have done a critical part of our job. As you can see, I have a lot of goals and plans for the year ahead. But before I conclude, I must thank the incredible staff at AZA. I want you all to know this team does amazing work. AZA team, we value your hard work and commitment. Thank you. I also want to give a special thanks to my Georgia Aquarium family. These last few years have not been easy, but you all have stepped up in an extraordinary way. I am so very proud to be a part of this team. Thank you for your unbelievable support, and I appreciate all of your well wishes as I step into this role. I want to make sure my time spent as chairman is impactful and that I am focused on what unites us all. This is truly an exciting time, and it means the world to me. That younger version of Brian that I mentioned earlier, he had no idea what was coming. But it's been an incredible journey. It started with two amazing women, my mother and my grandmother, who had a passion for people and animals. They helped me form a conscience early, one that always had me strive to do the right thing. These women, the champions I mentioned earlier, the champions I have that support me today, and my lived experiences at places like the New York Aquarium, Zoo Atlanta, Maritime Aquarium, and Georgia Aquarium have all played a role in preparing me for today. Regardless what I do in life, whatever title I hold, I'm an educator at my core, and I want to acknowledge the outstanding work of our AZA member educators. You are the conduit for valuable information exchange and critically important to our organizations. I am so lucky to be a part of this community, and I take this responsibility very seriously. Your collective ideas have the power to change lives, save lives, and show the world that aquariums and zoos are beacons of hope for the conservation and preservation of animals, communities, and global ecosystems. Let's continue to shape the future together. Thank you for your time, for this honor, and enjoy the rest of your day.